Hello everyone and welcome to Tariq. In today's episode, we will be telling you about Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a legendary educationist. He was a Sanskrit scholar and a social reformer. He changed and simplified the Bengali alphabets. He also was against Hindu orthodoxy. He challenged the barbaric practices of child marriage. He advocated and also he was successful in passing a Widows Remarriage Act, and he fought against the norms that made women helpless. In a way, he wanted to bring women in the forefront. He fought for women's education. He was born on 26 September 1820 in Birsingha village, which is situated in Bengal. Originally, he was known as Ishwar Chandra Bandyopadhyay, but the moniker of Vidyasagar was, given to him in honor of the amount of knowledge across various fields he had possessed. He was also known as Dayanand because of his benevolence. There was a poet who was also Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar's contemporary. His name was Michael Madhusudan Datta, and he writes about him and he says that Ishwar Chandra had the genius and wisdom of an ancient sage, energy of an Englishman and heart of a Bengali mother.
ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर की जो फैमिली थी दे वर नॉट वेरी रिच. इन फैक्ट दे लिव्ड इन पॉवर्टी. हिज फादर्स मंथली इनकम was only ₹8, and because they were so poor that they could not even afford gas lamps, and as a result it is said that Ishwar Chandra would read under the light of the street lamps to get his education. Now, as was the culture back then, education के लिए गांव से सिटीज़ की तरफ जाते थे. तो फिर ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर को भी उनकी फैमिली ने कलकत्ता भेज दिया बाय द एज ऑफ, some sources say by the age of 6 and some sources say by the age of 8. But it was also said that Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar on his way to Calcutta was able to learn the English numerical system by the milestones that he encountered. कलकत्ता में वो एक फैमिली फ्रेंड के साथ रहते थे जिनका नाम था भगवत चरण, एंड देयर हाउस वाज लोकेटेड इन द एरिया अराउंड द बड़ा बाज़ार, and he settled down there pretty quickly, and he was taken under the wing of Bhagvat Charan's youngest daughter Raimani, and it is Raimani's influence on him and because of her maternal care that he really flourished, and that he took the course of reform towards girls and women, their education, their wellness, their rights because of her.
ईश्वर चंद्र वॉज एन एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी स्टूडेंट. वो एक बहुत ही काबिल स्टूडेंट ही नहीं थे, साथ में वो अपनी पढ़ाई के लिए और एजुकेशन के लिए भी अर्न करते थे. सो ही वुड गिव ट्यूशंस टू वेल्दी किड्स, वेल्दी चिल्ड्रन बिलोंग टू वेल्दी फैमिलीज, सो दैट ही कुड सपोर्ट हिमसेल्फ. इन कैलकटा ही स्टडीड इन संस्कृत कॉलेज फॉर 12 years, एंड क्योंकि वो इतने इंटेलिजेंट थे कि उनकी सारी पढ़ाई स्कॉलरशिप पे बेस्ड थी. ही स्टडीड संस्कृत ग्रामर, philosophy, astronomy and dialectics. Later, he gained his degree in law and he joined Fort William College, where he was made the head of Sanskrit department.
In his career, he also served as the assistant secretary and the professor for literature in Sanskrit College, and by 1851 he was appointed as the principal of the same institution where he got his education and also served to prominent posts.
As we all know, he was a reformer and he believed that women and men, irrespective of the caste, they had the right to education. But because of this, he had faced opposition from the Hindu upper caste, and because of all this chaos, he had to leave Sanskrit College as the assistant secretary.
So when he became the principal of Sanskrit College, prior to that, education was generally limited to the upper caste, so Brahmins or the Vedya class. So when he became the principal, he opened the gates of the institution to everybody regardless of their caste or their class. And he cited the Bhagavad Puran, and he said that nowhere in the Shastras is it written that Shudras are not allowed to gain an education, or that they are not allowed to learn Sanskrit literature. So he used his knowledge of our scriptures, our Sanskrit scriptures, to back his claim, and that led to reforming the society. He was also part of a larger social movement which was called the Bengal Renaissance, following in the footsteps of another Bengali reformer, Raja Ram Mohan Roy. He was an ardent believer of education for all, and between the period of 1851 and 1855, he opened a lot of schools for specifically for girls, and in this he had the support of various other reformers. He even put his own money into opening these schools, and all in all he opened nearly 35 schools and enrolled nearly 1300 students. There is a story associated with Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar when he was collecting donations. This was to make Calcutta University, and he would go around asking for donations to make the university, and chalte chalte he reached the door of one such Raja in Bengal, and when he asked the Raja for donation, the Raja just took one shoe of his and put it in the donation bag. So Ishwar Chandra thanked him for his donation and he left. The next day he auctioned the Maharaja's or the Raja's shoe, and the auction reached 1,000 rupees, which was a huge sum in the 1800s. And so when the Raja got wind of this auction, he matched his donation to meet the price of the shoe that was auctioned. So he also donated 1,000 rupees on top of that. Now, whether it was because he was impressed by Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar or because he had to now save face after what has happened, we would not know.
Vidyasagar was also known as the father of Bengali prose. He had written a book which was on the alphabets. It was called Borno Pariche, and in that he had simplified the Bengali language, and he had also translated Shakespeare's work in Bengali. Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar was a very fascinating personality. He had command over the ancient scriptures, and he used that against his opponents who belonged to his own community. And in fact, he was a modern reformer. He wanted a modern society. He was against polygamy. He was against child marriage. He wanted people to treat widows equally. In 1854, he began with a campaign for widow remarriage. 19th century was a terrible time for women, for girls in general, because they were married off during the pre-pubescent time, and they were married off to men who were really old, and whenever their husbands passed away, these girls were forced to live an isolated life. They had to face stigma, they had to wear white sarees, and also they had to give up materialistic things and ways of life. In 1854, he began to write against the practice for Tattva Bodhini Patrika, which was a very progressive journal. And in that journal, he mentions a shlok from the Parshara Dharma Samhita, and that was a treatise on how people should be living in Kali Yuga. Gatimrite pravjite plivacha patite patau panchasvapsu narinam patrayanu bhidyate. The meaning of the shlok is that women have the liberty to marry if the husbands have died, they have not heard of, they're outcast, or they're impotent. So this is a shlok from the ancient scriptures which Vidyasagar he uses it against his opponents, that at least read your scriptures properly before stigmatizing against a gender or a community or a caste. You just can't, on the basis of false narratives or false information,
Fake news,
you are just going against a community or a gender or a class. The following year, he filed a petition in the government and before the government, and he wanted to formulate a legislation that would allow widow remarriage. He got support from the Maharaja of Bardhaman, Mahatab Chand Bahadur, but he also got backlash from conservative high caste communities. In fact, they had sent petitions to the government saying that you should not go with what Vidyasagar is asking you to do. His sustained efforts along with the other social reformers, finally on the 26th of July 1856, Widow Remarriage Act was passed. But the problem was that though the act was passed, it was still difficult for the society to accept it and to use it. Ishwar Chandra took this challenge and he performed the first widow remarriage in Kolkata on the 7th October 1856 on his own dime. In fact, he also got his only son married to a widow in 1870.
तो 1856 में तो विडो रीमैरिज एक्ट पास हो गया था, बट unfortunately the following year in 1857 revolt broke out, and because of this the reforms in India took a huge step back. So after his cause for the remarriage of widows was settled, he also wanted to then move towards abolishing child marriage. But because of the revolt, there was now a distance between the reformers who were driving change and the British political masters who had the power to make the change. Because जब रिवोल्ट हुआ तो देयर वाज अ चेंज ऑफ हैंड्स. पहले इंडिया कंपनी के अंदर थी, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के अंदर, एंड आफ्टर द रिवोल्ट दे केम अंडर द colonial rule of the British imperial government. Now when that happened, the British felt that it would be better and perhaps safer to maintain a distance or to not interfere in the personal laws of the Indians or Hindus. So because of that, they were also not very willing to bring change, because एक उनमें भी डर बैठ गया था. But because of this, the reform movement, which was now it had gained traction towards stopping child marriages, that had to suffer loss. Now because the reforms took such a step back, and also because of the opposition that the reformers faced from the larger society in general and the upper castes in particular, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar got really disillusioned. He moved to Jamtara, which is a village in present-day Jharkhand, where he worked with the local tribes of Santals, and he tried, and from there he would promote the education of girls. He opened the first school for girls in Jharkhand, and he also brought education not just to young girls but also older people, whether it be a woman or a man, because he believed in education for all. And girls were suffering, women were suffering particularly, so the attention was more on them. But this does not mean that he did not care about the education for boys. He also cared about that. But then, so in Jharkhand, he spent the last nearly 2 decades of his life following his calling to educate everybody and to break the barriers in education. However, his work and his influence did not go in vain. Spurred on by his work and his contribution to the reforms, and also the contributions of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, many other reformers then pushed for the abolition of child marriage. Finally, in March 1891, the British India administration passed the Age of Consent Act, which put a stop, at least legally, to the practice of child marriage. And this happened just 4 months before he passed away on the 29th July of the same year. At least he was able to see that act reach its end, or for his efforts to come to fruition.
Basically, the mission of his life was the education for all, and was modern reforms. And somewhere he actually got that.
Yeah.
He accomplished all that he wanted.
It is very interesting when we even today when we think about reform or we think about bringing a change, that's about when you think of that, it's like deviating from current practices or deviating from your culture or your जो आपका क्या कहते हैं पुश्तैनी हेरिटेज टाइप होता है, अरे मेरे कल्चर में तो ऐसा नहीं होता है, एंड यू आस्किंग मी टू डू समथिंग एल्स. बट देन ईश्वर चंद्र विद्यासागर यूज्ड the knowledge that he gained from our own ancient scriptures to bring about a reform in society. And we talk about equal opportunity for all, we talk about women rights to this day, but for a man to do it in the 1800s is commendable.
Yeah. Because even now, after so many years or after more than a century, we are still facing with a similar problem, with same issues, and still nothing has changed. Though at times you feel okay, things are improving, but again where you see cases where widows are treated very badly, child
still
marriages,
ostracized in many societies, in
we
many
see
families.
child marriages still happening, still taking place. Girls not getting equal opportunity or the right to equal education when it comes to middle class families also. You see that boys are the ones who are pushed towards education, and even equal rights to property. Then you feel that after so much of hard work and so many policies, and the constitution states that everybody is equal. No, you cannot pinpoint a community or a caste or a gender that you cannot get the right to education, or you cannot do whatever you want to do. But still people are practicing such evil acts and practices. It's actually shameful, because whatever said and done, irrespective of keeping religion or caste or community or your culture or your traditions in front of you, the person or that individual is a human being. Whether it's a man or a woman or a third gender, that person is a human being. They have the right to live, they have the right to education, they have the right to whatever they want to wear, whatever they want to speak, in a country that is the largest democracy in the world.
I think if your culture or your belief stems from prejudice towards a gender, towards a caste, towards a sexuality, then maybe you need to rethink about those values, because जो बेस वैल्यू होता है, रिलीजन में भी देख लीजिए आप, स्क्रिप्चर्स में भी देख लीजिए, you don't really have this sort of prejudice.
Yeah.
And even if you do, it is not correct.
Yeah.
So there is change with every generation, and that change is necessary. And while it is commendable that in the 1800s there were men like Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar who really acted on the cause of feminism, he, in a time where maybe that concept did not exist as such, or it wasn't popular as such, he really gave his life towards uplifting girls and women. But it is also disheartening that it is nearly 2 centuries after that, and kabhi लगता है that we've come a long way, but then you see the news of incidents that are happening just maybe 2 घर छोड़ के और 2 गांव छोड़ के, and it's the same. So has change actually happened? Can we face our ancestors, or the men and women who have made our country, who have given our country to us as a gift? Can we really face them and say, okay, you know what, we've done your work justice?
Yeah.
We can't really.
The thing is that when the generation will start questioning such evil practices, then only a change can come. I hope that you have liked today's episode. Please like, share and subscribe and keep watching Tariq.
खुशी खुशी शुरू किया था, थोड़ा सैड हो गया.
सच्चाई है, देख लो.
मैं सैड हो गई.
अच्छा, कब स्टार्ट नहीं होती.
That is also true.